Hey kids, welcome to Grateful Gwen's Goodreads. I am your host, Nani Nora Gwen, and today's book is Kingdom Parables. Favorite Bible Parables for Children, written by Christopher A. Lane with illustrations by Sharon Dahl. And the first parable is called Sir Humphrey's Honey Stands, based on the Unmerciful Servant story found in Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 through 35. There was once a bear who lived in a beautiful house deep in the forest. His name was Humphreys, and he was very wealthy. In fact, he had so much money that he was a true million bear. The woodland creatures considered him a royal animal of sorts and called him Sir Humphreys. Humphreys had made his fortune in honey. After discovering an enormous beehive, he opened honey stands throughout the forest. Since he now had many servants to attend to his business, Humphreys spent his days relaxing in his spacious manor. It came about one day that Edward, the bookkeeping beaver, was in Sir Humphrey's study checking the honey records. "Oh my," Edward said, "all of your honey stands are doing quite well, Sir Humphrey. But there seems to be a slight problem. One of your servants has, borrowed several jars of honey and failed to return them or pay for them." "How many jars?" Humphrey asked. "According to these figures," Edward said, "he owes you 100. 100 jars? Humphreys shouted. "What on earth could anyone do with 100 jars of honey?" "I have no idea," Edward said, shaking his head, "but I certainly advise you to find out." "Reginald," Sir Humphrey roared. Moments later, a regal-looking hound appeared. "You rang, sir?" "Yes, Reginald. Please summon—" Sir Humphrey paused. "Ed, what was the name of that servant?" The beaver flipped through his papers. "It is Mr. Freddie the Fox." "Freddie the Fox? Why, he is my most trusted servant," Sir Humphrey said in amazement. "Reginald, have Mr. Fox brought to me at once." "Very good, sir," the sleepy-eyed butler said. "Will there be anything else, sir? A cup of tea before your nap, perhaps?" "No, Reginald," Humphrey sighed. "I am too upset for my tea or my nap today." Later that afternoon, there was a knock at the door of Sir Humphrey's study. "Come in," he said in a deep voice. The butler opened the door. "A Mr. Fox to see you, sir?" "Send him in, and have Ed, my bookkeeper, come in as well." "Say, Sir Humphrey," Freddie said brightly as he and the beaver entered the study, "you gonna open another honey stand? I was thinking about a place over by—" "That's not why I've asked you here, Freddie," Sir Humphrey interrupted. "Ed, tell Mr. Fox what you have found." "According to these records, Mr. Fox, you owe Sir Humphrey 100 jars of honey." "How do you explain this debt?" Humphrey asked, leaning toward the fox. "Did you take 100 jars?" Freddie stuttered. "Yeah, I guess so." "What happened to it?" Sir Humphrey asked. "I took some home to my family," Freddie explained. "You remember my family." He pulled out a wallet filled with pictures. "They couldn't possibly eat that much honey," Humphrey bellowed. "Well, no, we didn't eat it all." His voice sank to a whisper. "I kind of took some outside the forest and sold it." "Where is the money, Freddie?" "I sort of lost it. I have this weakness for the ponies. Thought I could make a little easy money." "Gambling is never easy money, Mr. Fox," Edward said sternly, "especially when you are using someone else's." "You stole my honey, sold it, and gambled away the profits," Humphrey said. The fox nodded. "But I'll pay you back." "Yes, you will," Humphrey said, "immediately." "But, sir," Freddie pleaded, "you can't mean that. How will we live? Oh, please, please, just give me some time. I'll pay back every single jar. Please, sir." "Oh, get up," Sir Humphrey said. I should have thrown you into jail, but I can see that you are sorry for what you did. I forgive you." "Oh, thank you, sir," Freddie cried. "I'll start paying you back as soon as I—" "You could never repay it all," the wealthy bear said, shaking his head. "Ed, strike out his debt." "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you," the overjoyed fox said. "Now back to work with you," Sir Humphrey grumbled, "you crazy fox." Later that same day, an elderly mole named Barnabas approached one of Sir Humphrey's honey stands. He was a poor animal who could only afford to buy small amounts of honey. This time the mole had no money at all, yet he was quite hungry. "Well, hello there, Barnabas," the rabbit clerk said cheerily when she noticed him. "What can I do for you?" I was wondering, Mrs. Rabbit," he said slowly, "if I might have a bit of honey." "Of course," she said, lowering her voice. She added, "I'll put it on your bill." "Why, thank you," the mole replied. Mrs. Rabbit hopped over to the bin, dipped a generous cupful of honey, marked it in her receipt book, and then handed the cup to the waiting mole. Just then, Freddie the Fox arrived to make sure that business was running smoothly. "Get me today's records, Mrs. Rabbit," Freddie ordered. "Hop, hop." Mrs. Rabbit scurried to gather the needed papers. "Here you are, sir." The fox looked them over. "Very well," he grunted. "I'll be back tomorrow." Freddie turned to leave and walked right into Barnabas. "Excuse me, sir," the mole said as honey spilled onto the ground. "You old fool!" Freddie hissed, wiping honey from his coat. Suddenly, Freddie recognized him. "Hey, aren't you Barnabas?" "Yes, sir," the mole said, nodding politely. Freddie shuffled through the records again. Barnabas! Aha! According to this, you owe me for 1 cup of honey." "Yes, I know, sir, but—" "No buts about it." Freddie grabbed the elderly mole by the coat. "Pay up." "Mr. Fox," Mrs. Rabbit protested, "please don't shake him. You've got to pay up right now." "Barney, old buddy," the fox continued, "give me this coat and that cane and let me have your hat." "Please, Mr. Fox, be patient." Barnabas begged, falling to his knees. "I promise to pay you back." "Police!" Freddie yelled. "Police! This man won't pay his bill." A few moments later, 2 badgers arrived from the nearby police station. "What seems to be the problem here?" one of them asked. "This bum won't pay his bill," Freddie said. "Well, sir, what do you have to say for yourself?" the second badger asked. "I have no money," Barnabas answered, hanging his head. "Sorry, fella," the first badger said. "We're going to have to take you in." Mrs. Rabbit began to cry as the 2 officers led Barnabas away toward the jail. But Freddie simply strolled off down the opposite path, humming a happy tune. It didn't take Mrs. Rabbit long to realize that she simply had to do something to help Barnabas, and that something was to visit Sir Humphrey. She was hopping up and down and had tears in her eyes by the time Reginald ushered her into the wealthy bear's study. "Oh, Sir Humphrey, it was terrible. That Freddie is so cruel." And she told him what had happened. "Why, that ungrateful little fox," Sir Humphrey growled. "Reginald?" "Yes, sir," the butler replied, entering the parlor. "Have Freddie the Fox summoned at once." When Freddie the Fox arrived, he strutted into the study without waiting for Reginald to announce him. "Say, Sir H, what's up? Got a problem that old Freddie can help iron out?" "Be quiet, you," Sir Humphrey pointed, "you worthless servant." "Huh? First you steal from me, then you have a respectable customer thrown into prison. You mean that Barnabas character? He's a bum, Sir H. I turned him over to the police." "You should have forgiven him." "Hey, he owed me," Freddie objected. "If you cannot forgive this small debt, then neither will I forgive you, Reginald," Sir Humphrey roared. "Call the police." "What are you doing?" Freddie screeched. "Sir," the butler said, "your other guests have arrived." "Very good," Sir Humphrey smiled. "Show them in." Freddie's eyes got big when he saw Barnabas the mole and Mrs. Rabbit walk in. "They are here at my request," Sir Humphrey explained. "Mr. Barnabas will soon be managing one of my honey stands, and Mrs. Rabbit will be taking your job as chief over all my honey stand operations." "What about me?" Freddie asked. "What am I going to do?" "You, Mr. Fox, are going to jail," Sir Humphrey said flatly, "and there you will stay until you pay back every last jar of honey." "You can't do this," Freddie protested. Reginald opened the door, and the police officer stepped in. "Come along, Mr. Fox," one of the officers said, grabbing Freddie by the scruff of his neck, and the two badgers carried him out the door. Sir Humphrey waited until the door was closed. "Now, Mrs. Rabbit and Mr. Barnabas, we have things to discuss. As you know, selling honey can be sticky business." And so Sir Humphrey entrusted his honey stands to Mrs. Rabbit and Barnabas the Mole. With these two faithful servants handling his affairs, Sir Humphrey was free to spend his days lounging in his spacious manor. As for Freddie the Fox, he became known as the fox who wouldn't forgive. He remains in jail to this day, still paying back his debt to Sir Humphrey. He now has only 95 1/2 jars of honey to go. You can read a story like this in the Bible. Jesus told it in Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 through 35. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, "Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother when he sins against me?" Jesus answered, "The kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 talents, which is millions of dollars, was brought to him. Since he was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. The servant fell on his knees before him. 'Be patient with me,' he begged, 'and I will pay you back everything.' The servant's master took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. But when the servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii, only a few dollars. He grabbed him and began to choke him. 'Pay back what you owe me,' he demanded. His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him, 'Be patient with me, and I will pay you back.' But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were greatly distressed and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called the servant in. 'You wicked servant,' he said, 'I canceled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you?' In anger, his master turned him over to the jailers to be tortured until he pay back all that he owed. This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother from your heart." And the next parable in this book of parables, Kingdom Parables, is called Nicholas and His Neighbors, and it's based on the story of the Good Samaritan found in Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 37, and we will save that one for the next time. Until next time, happy reading and sweet dreams.